Hello everybody, welcome to the off season. Exams are done, all out the way, back on this now. We've got a new manager, I didn't talk about that, but we've got a new manager. Tim Walter is in, he came across really well in his press conference. So let's see what this next season holds. Transfer talk is back, ladies and gents. Let's waste no time at all and get straight into it. So we'll start with the only confirmed transfer involving the club so far. That is Tom Nixon. His loan move at Doncaster Rovers last season has been made into a permanent one. Solid young right back. Grant McCann really rated him and that's why he's gone there. It wouldn't surprise me if more players we had in the 21s that are still here, like, you know, Jevon Mills when he's done his loan at Bohemians, maybe Ollie Green who's left now, who Grant also rated quite highly, go to Doncaster as well. But that's the only confirmed one. Wish Tom all the best. And on a sort of similar note, when that transfer was confirmed, this is the first of the outgoing rumours we'll talk about today. Timothy Lotatala, who was also on loan at Doncaster last season, is a target for them again. However, Baz Cooper, in his article for the Hull Daily Mail talking about the Nixon transfer, described that although Lotatala is a target to take back to Doncaster for Grant McCann, he wants to prove himself a little bit to the new manager first. And I think we'll see a lot of that. Players like Longman, Cynic, Woods, etc. I think they'll all be given a little window to try and prove themselves to Tim Walter in these first few weeks. They're back in training on Monday the 1st of July. They fly out to Turkey on either the 9th or the 10th, I think. So that's where we'll get to see these players come back into training and what have you. And then it's just a case of, what does the manager think of them? Does he see that they fit the system? Have their training performances impressed him? Have their fitness levels impressed him? So I think we'll see a lot of that. Although on the Ryan Longman front, he was on loan at Millwall last season. They're keen to bring him back, according to Baz Cooper at the Hull Daily Mail. The same can be said for Ryan Woods and Exeter. Other than that, the only real sort of murmurings of outgoings are James Furlong going to Maribor. That's been reported by Slovenian press because, well, Ajan's takeover of them is going to be confirmed very, very soon, if it hasn't been confirmed already and I've just missed it. And that'll be sort of what Shelbourne were almost going to be, but it didn't quite work, so we're going to send them to Maribor instead. That's where James Furlong looks set to be going. There's interest there. Speaking of Shelbourne, the Irish Independent have reported that Harry Wood, who spent time on loan there last season, is a target for them. And then that leaves the obvious one. Well, the obvious two. Nothing on Jayden Philogene so far, but Jacob Greaves. Bids and interest in Jarrod Branthwaite at Everton is building. Manchester United have apparently put a first bid in, and it was reported yesterday by Hull Daily Mail and Baz Cooper, as has been reported quite widely for the last couple of months. Everton are interested in Jacob Greaves. And look, I'm resigned to the fact that Jacob's gone. If we keep hold of him, this is very much like the summer that we didn't let Bowen go when Grant McCann took over. It feels mental that a player of his qualities will still be here. And, you know, for me now, Greaves, as much as I don't want to see him go, he has to make this next move. Simple as. He has to make this next move. And get this move right, get minutes, play his cards right. He could well be. We've seen this summer the amount of centre-halves that, you know, seemingly were out of the question if Harry Maguire was fit but are now in the fold. You know, Jared Branthwaite was in the provisional squad, as was Jarrell Kwanzaa. Lewis Dunk's made it there. Matt Gay played really well last night against Serbia alongside John Stones. So a couple of things go his way. He plays his cards right. Jacob Greaves could be in with a shout of playing for England at the 2026 World Cup in the USA, Canada and Mexico, which seems mental to say, but it's what could happen. Centre-back, the defence just more broadly, is a weaker area for England than the rest of the pitch. And if Jacob Greaves gets his move right, he could well be in contention in 2 years' time. Which seems mental to say, but that's how good a player he is. And whichever Premier League team gets him, be it Everton, be it Crystal Palace, were linked, West Ham, whoever, Brentford, they've got one hell of a centre-back on their hands, that's all I need to say. Okay, now the good stuff, the in rumours. I've gone back a few weeks to get some of these, and let's just rattle through them, shall we? We'll start with the players we had last season. Right after the end of the season, in May, it was reported that we were trying to get DELAP and Ohio back. All the focus has been on Liam DELAP in the media and when Adrian's spoken. There is interest, reported interest from Southampton and from Serie A as well. I think the two clubs were Fiorentina and Bologna, but don't quote me on that. They're what a rumoured competition, but Adrian desperately wants to get Liam DELAP back, and I think he speaks for all of us when saying we all want Liam DELAP back. It's probably going to be a loan if it happens, but it's one we all want to happen. It's one we absolutely want to happen. Not much has been said on Ohio. Maybe the change of manager has sort of played a factor in that, but like I say, not much has really been said. And that leaves us with Ryan Giles. Adrian described him in an interview with BBC Radio Humberside after Rosinha was sacked as our player, which made us all think, okay, right, we've signed him then. Then the retained release statement came out and it was just like he was any other loan player and the option to buy him didn't exist. And then reports are now that the transfer window's open. It's going to be worked on. There's a few little things in the option just to iron out, but it's mostly done. Middlesbrough are, however, though, still keeping tabs. So they're the three we had last season. As for the rest of the loanees, Zaruri, frankly, don't care. Morton, not a lot's been said. Carvalho, never going to happen. Any others I'm missing? I don't think so. So they're the three. If we can't get Liam DELAP, however, there are two other strikers that we've had reported interest in. One of which I've known about for quite a few months and I've sat on firm in the knowledge that it's come from a very good source. And we'll talk about that one first. Josh Windass. I first found out about our interest in Josh Windass a few months ago, talking to well-connected people. And I was told he's going to be leaving Sheffield Wednesday and he has two offers on the table at this time. One was from us and one was from Sunderland. I was told Josh wanted a 3-year deal wherever he went. We offered him 2 on whatever money. I didn't get told what money and I wouldn't say that anyway. So since then it's built and built and built. Coventry are now also interested. There was rumours of Swansea and Stoke as well, I think. It was rubbished by Baz Cooper, Hull Daily Mail, but then at the same time as he published that article, Peter O'Rourke from Football Insider published a similar thing, saying that us and Coventry are the two clubs in the race. So it's incredibly strange, don't really know what to believe, but my personal belief is that there is interest there. And just to watch this space on the Josh Windass situation, there's obviously the link between him and his dad and what have you, but we'll see. And to be honest, because Josh has been out and made a footballing career for himself away from Hull City, didn't come through our academy, his situation's different to the situation that Ian Ashby's in with Stan and Mark Greaves is in with Jacob. And I think Dean, because knowing a little bit about who Dean is and getting on quite well with Dean. I don't think he'd sort of... This is all just pure speculation. I'm just talking this into existence. I think Dean wouldn't want Josh to come here because Dean's legacy would overshadow what Josh could do on the pitch for us. And, you know, although Dean scored obviously that goal at Wembley, it can't be forgotten that Josh has scored at Wembley as well for Sheffield Wednesday. So I think that might play a factor into his decision making and not wanting to just be the son of Dean and what have you, playing for Hull City, yada yada yada. Anyway, moving on. The other one, Jay Stansfield from Fulham, that was reported by Baz Cooper, one we're keeping tabs on. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Jay Stansfield coming in. He had a good season with Birmingham last season despite their relegation. And I think he's a sort of striker who we needed at points last season. Can score goals, pretty quick, but more important than all of that, he's just sort of he's not afraid to get under the skin of defenders. So that could be useful. But Fulham at the minute aren't looking to let him go. But we had to wait for Philogene last summer. We had to wait for Morton last summer. So I'd love to get Jay Stansfield. And I think he needs another season in the Championship. So that's just a case of, again, wait and see. A lot of these are going to be wait and sees at this stage of the transfer window. So we'll get out of the way now. Aalborg youngster Fadil Daniel Matos. That was reported by Turkish press. And then he posted that rumour on his Instagram story. Not a lot has been said by local press about that one. So I'm not really sure. I think if that one were to happen, he would come in and join up with the under-21s and stuff like that. A bit like Bora did last season, except he'd be a permanent transfer. I think he's 19 years old, playing for Aalborg's second team. So, like I said, I know nothing about him. The rumour's only been sort of pushed to the surface because he posted about it on his own social media. And, like I said, local press haven't said anything really about it. So, not much to say on that one. The same can be said for Brian Reynolds, a source in the United States where he's represented internationally, said that we were interested in him again for the however many windows it is that Adrian's owned us, and that one has been rubbished by HDM, by Baz, in the same article that rubbished the Josh Windass one, so who knows. But we need a right back, so I think this time it's a bit more credible than last summer when we had Coyle and Christie still here. But this is just going to be one of those. He's going to be the new Ben Woodburn, isn't he, that gets linked every single summer and then just never ends up signing for us. The same can be said for Mia Jacques. It was linked by a Turkish source, the Fenerbahce midfielder. Adrian did say that if there was one player he could sign for Hull City, it would be him. But again, do we need him really? And it's Turkish press, and we know what the Turkish press are like, and we've got the experience of that, so just, you know, we'll see on that one. Adrian is, of course, vice president of Fenerbahce now, so that could have something to do with it. But again, I don't read too much into those two. That leaves us then with two, both in central midfield. The first is Ollie Norwood. There was reported interest in the Sheffield United midfielder from us and other Championship clubs by Football Insider a few weeks ago. We were linked with him under Nigel Adkins, interestingly enough, back in the summer of 2018, if I remember right. So, Ollie Norwood, Championship experience, could be useful, but I think we're more likely to tap into the loan market, where we've had a big link from the Liverpool Echo in James McConnell. Obviously Liverpool impressed with how Morton and Carvalho got on with us last season, so we've got that relationship between, you know, the clubs. And McConnell broke through last season really, played in that Carabao Cup final where pretty much all of Liverpool's academy were on the pitch. And to me, when I've only seen little bits of him in central midfield, but he looks solid. Combines the sort of industry of a midfielder, you're not afraid to get stuck in, and a bit of sort of technical flair as well from what I've seen. He's got Premier League experience, got Europa League experience from last season at such a young age, and Liverpool might want to see him, you know, get out again and get some experience at playing at a lower level like Tyler Morton has, and other Liverpool youngsters have been out and doing, like Jarell Quansah's been out on loan, and you know, look at him now in the England provisional squad. Harvey Elliott, you know, he went out on loan to Blackburn. So that's a signing I'd be very much in favour of, because we've got that relationship. He's got some experience, and I think although he'd be raw to start with, I think he could really flourish in what I've seen of Tim Walter's system. Other than those, I don't really think there's anything much to report. What I will finish with is Tim Walter's coaching team. So the two he's going to bring over, he's pretty much confirmed this himself in his opening presser, to work alongside himself, obviously, Andy Dawson and Barry Richardson. His assistant at Hamburg, Julian Herbner, and Filip Topalovic, who he also worked with at Hamburg. They've been with him a lot of different places he's been, and that looks set to happen. They'll just be confirmed, I assume, next week before the team go back into training. But I'm just going to leave it at that. So thank you for watching, everyone. I am back. I will try and do these a bit regular, every week maybe. And yeah, thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you when there's more transfer news to report. Take care, up the Tigers, and goodbye.